Hey Fish Tube, how's it going? So I wanted to drop a quick video on the angelfish fry. They are about 3 weeks old right now, and you see there's a couple hundred in there. These are the parents. Pretty awesome. Now, I talked to you about I wanted to go through the good and the bad, and here's some of the good and then some of the bad. So unfortunately, I have purchased these Wild Discus here, and there's the big male right there. He is doing great. So the problem is I got a pair, or what I thought was a pair, and one's doing great. Now I put him through a pretty heavy treatment for they've been in my room for about 2.5 to 3 months, and they've gotten the Metro twice, and they got levamisole twice, and actually I treated them with Pro too, because as I'll show you, the female came in with some flared gills. Now I thought it could have been gill flukes, I thought it could have been ammonia burn, and I was hoping she'd heal. I did everything but the heat treatment on these guys because of her gill problem. I didn't want to have her struggling to get more air or oxygen. So this is the male. He's doing really well. He's fattening up. He's got a nice fat forehead. So the problem with buying adult discus is not knowing their age. These could be 5 years old, they could be 7 years old, they could be almost 10 years old at the end of their life. So that is kind of the issue of not growing out your own discus. But I've always had Wild Discus and I wanted a pair, so these are Peruvian red spots. And now I'm going to show you the problem. So the thing is unfortunately the female was in together and they were doing really good together, but she is struggling. So I don't want to put this guy through any more treatments because it's not necessary. He's cleaned out, and then what I don't want is if there's any issue as far as anything transferable, for him to get sick off the other one. So you see her gill rate. Now that's pretty much how she breathes all the time. And so when I look at a discus, I want a certain pattern to their respiration. And it's pretty much one gill opening per second. So I want So you can see the difference on her gill rate. It is just like, and she's stressed too because I just moved her. But I don't know, and like I said with the age, I just don't know how old she is. And it could be something just permanent damage. I've tried everything. So what I'm gonna try to do is just let her stay in this tank, give her water changed every single day, feed her a good diet, and see if that heals. Because it might be also that I've treated so heavily to try to fix her that she might just be stressed because of the medication. Well, unfortunately, she's a beautiful discus, but I can't keep them together anymore, and he'll probably pout a little bit and she might not be happy in here, but it's for the best to see if I can get her back to a good respiration. So that's what I'll be watching. Now, one thing I have noticed is she's eating well, but she's shrinking. And when we say a discus is shrinking, you just notice that their body, now it's not shrinking as far as her thickness because her forehead's still really good. It's just her body. And so she's not, and it could be call it a fin clamp. So right now she's stressed because of the move. But I told you guys I'd be honest with how the fish room goes and what I go through in this fish room, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to be very honest because I know there's people that put stuff on YouTube and they just show the great stuff. You know, they clean their tanks perfect and everything's just excellent all the time. And that's just not the reality. So I'm going to do my best to save her. She will not get heat treatments because of her gill problem. She's just going to stay in clean water for 2 weeks. I'm just going to observe. Lots of good food. Now she is eating, so that's a good sign. She loves mysis shrimp. She loves it, and it doesn't last long in her tank, so that's a positive. But if you can't get oxygen to your body, as you know, it just causes so much stress on the body. And she's been breathing like this since the day I got her. So I've tried everything, the Prozi, I've tried salt, I've tried everything. So I'm just gonna cool it on the medications and see how she does. And it could be a thing where it just heals itself now. But what I don't want to keep doing is stressing her out by medications. I thought it was gill flukes, but now that I've gone through all the treatments and everything, I have a feeling it's just gill. And you can see the filament right there. See how it pops out? So that gill is flared out. Now besides that, she's doing really well. She has a nice forehead. She does open up her fins a lot, but then she clamps down a little bit, and right now is just being in this new bare bottom tank with no sides on it, stressing out. So she looks pretty good actually, and I put her in here about a half hour ago. So I'll keep an eye on her and keep you updated on her. And I just hope that I can get her better, because I just love the Wild Discus. But another thing is I just don't know the age of her. So she could be at the end of her life. I don't think so. I think she's probably more like the 4 or 5 year mark. You can see that gill. Look at that thing. So it's red in there. It's a little inflamed, but it's just the pocket is too big for the opening. It's just, and that's been like that since day one. So I'm just gonna let her chill, give her water changes every day, keep her clean. Now she's in soft water. So one thing I'm gonna try to do is put her back into hard water slowly, and then mineralize that water. Right about 82 degrees. I might drop that temperature down a little bit. I'll probably take her more to the 80, 79 degrees. Being wild, they can tolerate that, and they actually prefer the cooler water, being a Wild Discus. And tomorrow morning I will do the corydoras. So I've set up their tanks. So these are just cycling through, and those are the Venezuelan redfin, sailfin, man, these names. But so you can see back there, and they're just grow outs, so they got another 6 to 8 months before they're even consider breeding. And here is a little tank that I have, and I put the guppies in there because I know they're clean, and just to help the tank stay cycled. But there is a little panda in there. There she is. And she kind of just squeezed through some rocks and stayed alive, and so she'll go back into the community tank. And then I have in here the skunks, and so they're growing out. They're actually growing pretty good. So they're going to go back into the community. They've been through their 60-day quarantine. They look great. They're eating and everything.